Boys, question 22 asks students to explain the functions of the axial and appendicular skeletons. So explain being our key term. We go and have a look and see what the Board of Studies states. Explain means relate cause and effect, make the relationship between things evident, provide why and or how. So we're looking at probably the relationship between the two different parts of the skeletons here. So we go and have a look. So we're talking about the skeletal bones. So this is where we're coming from with our syllabus. We have a look at our sample answer. So we're going to explain the function. So what's the relationship between the axial and the appendicular skeletons? First of all, this answer shows some of the highlighted terms being axial, appendicular. Very good. This question was worth 4 marks. The axial skeleton is the core or base of the body, which is exactly what we know the axial skeleton to be. The sternum, for example, so he supplied an example of an part of the axial skeleton, and allows for the appendicular system, for example the arms, allows the arm and apex to move along the vertical and horizontal planes, so along the body. So he's showing there a little bit of relationship between the two of them. You know, what's the function of the axial and appendicular? How do they work together? The axial being the core, the main structure of the body, whereas the appendicular is going to be a part which is going to allow for, bones or parts of the body to move along an axis or planes along the body. Then talks about, so remember we're talking about the explain here meaning the functions, one without the other would leave the body useless and the joints would be useless, allow for the freedom of movement from the axial skeleton. So that's why it was a very good answer. He's shown the two different areas and what they do, their parts, and also the functions of them. So just so we're clear here, the axial skeleton, we're looking at the movement, which involves the skull, the ribs, and the vertebrae. So vertebrae being the sternum down the middle, whereas our appendicular, meaning the bones of the arms and the legs. So more like our peripheral parts of our body. That's what was required in this answer, showing how they work together. Overall, this is a pretty poorly answered question. Students didn't do this one very well at all. Students really struggled with this part of the content, and for 4 marks, it was 4 marks that a lot of students lost, and they just wrote some very, very poor answers. So they need to do better in future for this sort of question.